The Akashic Records. Many people have heard of them, but it isn't always clear exactly how to access them and what it means if you access them. And so that's my intention with this video, is to help you to feel illuminated as to what the magical, hidden, magnificent powers are of connecting with the Akashic Records. And also, I'll tell you how you can actually do it. A couple of easy little tips. Well, first of all, welcome and thank you so much for coming to this video. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive channel, and animal communicator. And I actually do have a course on the Akashic Records, either for people who already are coaches or healers or intuitives or hypnotherapists and you want to add this skill, or if you want to just enjoy accessing the records for yourself. So just check out the description if you want to find that. But I'm Tricia, and I'm so glad that you're here. And you know what? I want to tell you right up front that you have access to the Akashic Records. You just have, because it's just a natural part of being human and a way that we can powerfully shift. But isn't it great to imagine that you could do it anytime you like? You could tap into the Akashic Records and unlock, unleash, empower the hidden power of the records. Now, I said it's hidden, but it's only hidden because we've hidden it from ourselves. You know, they're not really hidden by any outside authority. So that's my intention, is to help you to feel that it's very exciting and also very accessible for you to connect with the records. One thing I want to talk about that is maybe not always understood is that when you connect with the records, with the Akashic Records, it's not just like you're hearing a story and, like you're reading a book, which can be, can create a lot of transformation within you, or watching a movie, which again can welcome in some kind of emotional shift and can add to your life. When you tap into the Akashic Records, you're at least offered the opportunity to, and if you say yes to it, you are shifting and changing and adjusting to a different fractal of your overall potential. The way this is done is it would help you to imagine and shift your thought of the records as something like books or scrolls, which is perfectly fine if that is the symbolism that you think of or notice. But what is really happening is much more aligned with data streams. It is data streams. It's frequencies of energy. And so as we are able to connect with them, energy is more fluid than something like reading a book, right? A book is something that is, I pick it up, it's material, and then there, of course, when I read the narrative of it, there's a story with emotional qualities and a pattern and everything. All of that is in it. But if you can imagine right now, fluidity of the data stream, so that if you say yes to it, it moves into your energy. And it has to come in through the awareness of your physical body, because this physical experience is the densest part of you as a mind, body, spirit, as a multidimensional entity. The physical body is the densest experience, and it is that material is how we get sort of trapped energy. So stories or beliefs or trauma that we're holding can be keeping us locked, in a manner of speaking, in a story of the life. So if we can receive that into our felt sense, the data stream, the energy of what is in the Akashic Records as your potential, whether it's past, present, or future, present parallel timelines, past, learning what I was meant to learn, future, this is the potential, the possibility. If we receive that into the felt sense, then it's like if I took this glass of water, and this is just a clear glass of water, but imagine this was blue liquid and I poured it into this glass of water, it would change this liquid. Visibly, it would change from clear to blue, and it would be a whole new solution. So you see how being able to welcome in the streams of energy, which are completely fluid, which are not dense, into your dense form, will put you on a whole different frequency. That's what's key here, is it's as simple and beautiful as that in a lot of ways. I'm going to give you a couple of examples here in a minute of how accessing the records has tremendously changed lives. And I'm also going to give you some tips about it. So, continue to pay attention here. So now I want to share with you how you can access the records. I'm going to give you just one, and you can do it a couple of different ways. And it's one of my favorites. So By the way, I want to remind you that I do have an Akashic Records class. If you're listening to this, watching this at the close to the time that's being published, you want to actually check the description for sure, because you want to, it is going to be happening live. And then if you're listening at some other time, do check the description anyway, because there is a great course on demand with a way that you can come to live meetings, if you know what I mean. Here is your technique for accessing the Akashic Records that I want to give you today. First of all, to do this, you want to create the space for it. You want to set the space for this working, whether it's finding a place where you're going to be comfortable, you're not going to be disturbed, and you're not like, oh, I got to get this done in 10 minutes. That kind of time and space, comfortable space to do it. You want to have a clear intention. And this intention is to not only connect with the records, but be aware of the fact that your acceptance of both the data stream that will come with it, and also lessons and also blessings. Believe it or not, we actually have a hard time accepting blessings. That might be because of our self-worth that we're carrying, and that needs to be mended. But we need to accept challenges. We need to accept blessings. And that is all like in your intention. Have that as a part of your intention, but be clear about it. Anchor yourself into that. Now you can call on guides. You can just have a very simple welcome appeal, a kind of prayer saying, I just call on my benevolent guides of light, those who are equal or greater to me in wisdom, love, knowledge, and unity consciousness. That is a prayer that I will say just to blanket, to welcome in and invoke my guides. Or you might call in a specific angel if you like. Just wholeheartedly know, here's another point of acceptance, accept that they are there for you. You have to accept it. You have to decree it and hold it in your body that you are connected with your guides. And then here is the technique that I want to share with you. And you may have heard about this before. Maybe you haven't. And it is to use the mantra Om and recite it 108 times, toning it into your body, into your physical vibration. Again, this is going to help to prepare your body, because trauma is stored in the body, and then new experiences have to be received by the dense material of the body. So as you chant Om, and Om is the primordial tone. It means we are taking it all the way back to source energy, the moment of creation, including your creation. So you see, if we take it all the way back there, and we do it with such intention that we do it 108 times, then we are being very clear about being able to align with all of the potentials, all of the possibilities. How do you count the 108? Well, you can do it one of two ways. Making sure that you are toning it, though, fully. You can use mala beads. This is actually a mala bead necklace. It's 108 beads. As I do each Om, I move along. Just like how the Catholic Church borrowed that from Hinduism, because Hinduism is older than Catholic Church. I'm not making any judgment, I'm just saying. And so you count the Oms as you're walking your fingers up it, so you don't have to count like this, or take yourself out of your deeper experience. And you can count along and just in your room recite Om. And the way you want to tone it is with rousing the vibration from within. And I have an audio track sample for you of one that I've actually prepared. So this is the second way, is that you can use a guide track of someone toning Om 108 times, and you can join their voice to it, and that can be very powerful. So this actual track that I'm just going to play a few seconds of a sample is a meditation track of mine. It's actually in my Astral Mastery course, which is the ultimate intuitive expansion program. It's also in my Akashic Records course, so it would be something you could access as a technique in either one of those programs. I'm going to play you a sample of that. It has binaural beats in it, so it is actually implanting it in there so that you can shift into a state that is going to help you to be altered into the liminal state. So I'm going to play that for you right now. hope you enjoyed that little sample. Now, after you have recited your 108 ohms, you can then allow yourself to stay in that altered state. And if you have questions prepared, leave them open-ended enough that you can allow the potentials to come through. Only ask a few and then let the awareness flow to you. Accept everything that is there. And again, if you want to keep the energy flowing, just say, what if it was being shown to me right now? What would that be? Ask those questions, let that energy come through. And then as you're closing that, you want to, now you can be, I should say, you could actually write this as you're going, but be sure to stay in your state. So if you're it's sort of automatic writing, you might have your vision a little bit blurry, or if you're typing, just make sure that you're staying in the state, not getting too analytical. Definitely don't get analytical. And if you're feeling stressed out, or if you're feeling particular about how it's coming through, just breathe and settle back in and allow it to come through easily. It might take more than one day. It depends on where you are with your practice, or it depends on where you are with your mood or attitude that day, So we want to just be in the evolution of the whole practice. So finally, as you're closing it, be sure to say thank you. Be sure to call in the frequency of gratitude and affirm that you definitely did receive some kind of data stream for your highest good, because that could be the pivot. That might be it, because guess what? If you feel like I didn't get anything, or I didn't get a lot, or I'm not sure if I did, if you close it with gratitude and you accept it and you take responsibility for the fact that you did open that portal, it may show up in a dream, it may show up as an epiphany the next day, but you have to accept it right now as your intention being answered by the universe. And then, of course, after you're done, just generally anything that's on your heart, and you might find the patterns of the thing that's there to help you there. The process of when we access the records is you have free will to allow that data stream to change your solution, your total solution entirely. So, for example, if you're accessing records from past events, you could be tapping into something negative. And then that would be how, when we have past life regressions and you're guided into a past life regression by a hypnotherapist, which I do that, by the way, or if you allow yourself to go into a journey to view a past life. If you experience something that is negative, what you want to do is have the intention to learn what you learned from that. And as you accept that, then you are shifting the trajectory of the now. Alternatively, if you tap into a past experience, which feels like a past life, and it's positive, also, what was the learning there? And what was the empowered experience that I can bring back on as relevant now? We can also tap in the same way to parallel timelines of what this is right now, and then, of course, future ones. Always looking at whether it's a challenge, or if it's something that seems really wonderful and glorious, or even something that's mundane, because that's all just our judgment. We want to lift the judgment and see what the learning, the principle of empowerment is within that record that is being revealed to you. And as you allow it into your felt sense, if you accept it, then you're going to shift powerfully and possibly, like, it seems miraculously. You don't necessarily drop timelines, but it does seem like almost sometimes when it happens, like it just changed overnight. And I have a couple of stories for that. One is a client, and this client was in a coaching program with me. I was guiding, and it was a group coaching, and I have permission to share the story, even though I'm not going to tell their identity. This person had a debilitating disease, and this was a young person in their early 20s. And this disease seemed to be that they had a genetic marker for it, and it had been going on for 2 years, and it was creating damage in the body and really debilitating, impacting being able to eat, impacting being able to walk, like a really globalized expression of pain and illness in the body. There really didn't seem to be any solution. There didn't seem to be any cure, according to the medical treatment. But through our coaching, there was this moment that was very clear that we had tapped into a parallel timeline. She had to accept this timeline and the parallel timeline and the potentials and possibilities. So you see, it wasn't that we were escaping this timeline, but we accepted this timeline and the lessons that were being learned as well as the parallel timeline as a potential. And then when we left that experience, she left feeling like, I'm fine if this timeline continues just as it is because I've accepted it. Well, then just a couple of days later, went to the doctor, and the doctor was shocked that not only had the disease started to lighten, but damage that had been done in the body had reversed itself, and the doctor had never seen it before. It was beyond the comprehension of the doctor. So if you've had miraculous or powerful shifts, you may have actually tapped into the records, even if you weren't aware that that's what happened. But it does require accepting this timeline and also another potential record that can be overlaid to it. It's all about acceptance and intention, and being able to evolve intentionally. There's another one where my cat astral projected to me in a moment of fear while I was on an airplane, and he astral projected to me. I could feel him. I was just awake, and I had a moment of fear about like, oh, should I be getting on this airplane? Is it going to kill me? And I'm not really afraid of flying. When my cat came to me, and I could feel him very viscerally. He brought with him our future Akashic records of the fact that we had many more years to be together. And this sense of, no, you can come home to me. But I accepted it, and I calmed down, and I knew for certain the moment that I chose to accept those streams of data of our future, of our story, I knew that it was happened. And it happened. We had many years. That was years ago. So we've had many years of our Akashic records being formed together. So there you go. That's what I have for you for the hidden secrets and a few techniques and everything all about the Akashic records. I have many magnificent things in the course, opening portals, activating fractals, channeled teaching and messages from Archangel Metatron that I partner with. So I just want to make that last invitation to you. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I want to thank you for shining your light on our beautiful world. And thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.